In simple terms, before you try to understand what's taking place, we should try to understand that there have been a number of presidents because history repeats itself. In the first place, President Nixon in 1971 to 1972.
The 1970s was a decade of economic turmoil, with seeds sown in the highest office of the land. President Richard Nixon was obsessed with ensuring a strong economy for his upcoming 1972 re-election bid. He pressured Fed Chairman Arthur Burns to keep interest rates artificially low to stimulate immediate growth. Relentless pressure delivered through late-night phone calls left the Fed chairman feeling deeply cornered. The Federal Reserve eventually succumbed, slashing rates and flooding the market with easy credit. Initially, it worked. The economy roared back to life with bustling shopping malls and rising employment. Nixon basked in a 1972 landslide victory, seemingly vindicated by the soaring economic numbers. But the artificial boom soon turned into a nightmare as prices began to soar nationwide. Double-digit inflation and gas lines became reality, a consequence of prioritizing short-term political gain. Burns sat at his desk, overwhelmed by distressing reports and a crisis he could no longer ignore. The Fed building stood as a silent witness to a failed experiment in political control over banking. This era remains a stark, cautionary tale about the heavy price of political interference in monetary policy.
Well, he had the elections in 1972 and he asked the Fed chair by then, who was by the names of Arthur Burns in simple terms. Arthur Burns had to lower interest rates because you must understand how politics play. This is an economic channel. We don't. It doesn't matter either you're Democrat or Republicans or Independent. We are here to understand how money how money moves in simple terms. He tried his level best to make interest rates. Well, the chair by then, Arthur Burns, what he did, he lowered the interest rates in simple terms and making sure that the interest rates were falling low in simple terms, making the economy. When I say lowering interest rates, that means there was almost free money in simple terms, money without interest in simple terms. However, after 4 years in 1974, we saw inflation raising almost 12%. That's when things started running so bizarre. Actually, inflation was unbearable. I believe it's among the highest levels of inflation ever recorded in the US economy. You should also try to understand that when such levels of inflation were seen, well, Arthur Burns had to be kicked out in several times. Maybe he had to resign. I don't remember whether history. But what all I remember was that he was forced. It was forced to see the new leader known as Paul. There was I'm forgetting the name, Paul. He came up and raised interest rates to almost 20%. That's way high.